Hi friends, the incidents I am going to narrate here is of 1950s and the name of the country was China. Still it is China only. That time the China was ruled by one person whose name is Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong was a very autocrat sort of, ruler. He is, cannot allow any, Chinese citizen or anybody to speak even a single word against him or his government. People, should be prohibited, the Chinese citizen should be prohibited, by against speaking anything against the Chinese government or Mao. So what Mao did, he appointed thousands and thousands of the local spy. They had given him a job, the job, and their job is to identify and detect the people who are talking against Mao or against the Chinese government. Okay, and they were that being caught, they were being reprimanded in a very hard way, so that if next time it happens, he will have to take a very capital punishment. Okay. By the starting of 1956, 1957, this Mao was being overtaken by another ruler whose name is Shin Sing Fi. Okay, Shin Sing Fi was more autocratic and than Mao. What he did, he made it absolutely, unofficial ban in China that nobody can speak even a single word against him and his government. And if they are being caught in that process, they will be immediately arrested and they will be sent to this land camps which are there in the different parts of the country, where the life of the people were very, very horrible. In 1957, during this movement, when thousands and thousands of the Chinese citizens were being arrested and they are being sent to the different camps, to give them the capital punishment to make their life hell out of it, one medical student who was doing his in a way of medical degree and he was in the final here, choosing. He was being caught and arrested on the charge of speaking against the Chinese government, right? So he was being caught and he was being arrested and he was being sent to one of these camps. Okay, the life in those camps was absolutely horrible. All the prisoners was supposed to work with the first ray of the morning and till the dusk they were being subjected with a very, very hard and very, very difficult rigorous jobs, and they were offered very highly poor quality of the food, even rotten foods. Okay, so that they are they were not keeping good as far as the health is also concerned, and they were being allotted 2 into 2 cell, where the walls are approximately 30 and 35 feet of the high, and on above the wall the high voltage wires were flowing, on which at any given of time the 400 voltage of the current was passing round the clock. So there was absolutely no imagination that any prisoner can run away from those camps. And there are n number of guards, hundreds and hundreds of guards were being kept along with the hunted dogs. And during the daytime, if they find that some of the prisoner or somebody was taking rest, they will just shoot the dog towards them, and dog will try to tear them off like thing. Means they were just living the life worse than the animal. So in those camps, Shu was also being kept in the same 2 into 2 cell. Okay, and he was also being exposed to the same kind of atmosphere, to same kind of hard work, rigorous work, and the same kind of milk quality food, and the same kind of the cell. Okay, but Everybody, almost all the prisoners in those camps, they have understood that they are in their destiny, they will never go back to their original life, and they had to die over there. And in fact, because of this kind of hard work, rigorous work, and backed up by the very poor quality of the food, maybe half of the requirement of the food, and in nights there are mosquitoes and all, so nothing was being provided to protect from that, so they were almost the sick. Okay, but shoe was of some different material. Shoe had a very, very strong willpower and a strong hope inside of him that come what may, one day he may get a opportunity to escape from this labor camps, right? He was just waiting for the day. His willpower was very, very strong. So every day he used to go silently. Whatever work is being allotted to him, he used to do the work. He was accepting the food, and silently he went back to his that 2x2 cell. Okay. Later on, when these guards came to know that Shu is a doctor. Okay. So they started visiting Shu, unofficially, to get some consultation, medical consultation for them or their family. Shu was very happy to serve to them. He had no problem in that, and he was very courteous in spite of their rude behavior to the Shu. Okay, so he used to give the consultation, and his consultation, the guards and their family was getting an advantage. They were also getting cured, so they also had developed some kind of soft corner to Shu. Shu was being assigned initially a prison of 16 years. Later on, which extended up to another 5 years, means total 21 years. This time used to pass, and approximately some 14-15 years had already passed of his imprisonment. Okay. So one day, all of a sudden, one guard in the evening time, he came to Shu, and he said that his wife had some problem and he wanted medical consultation from him. Okay, so Shu understood. Shu listened the whole the problem, and he recommended some tree leaves of different teas. He told him, you go to there, collect those teas and boil those teas in a hot water for 10 minutes, and then give that water to your wife, and she will be all right. Now that guard, unfortunately, they said to Shu that time, sir, there is how I can boil the water, because there is no current, there was no current, and it is absolutely a massacre, and till next day afternoon there will be no electricity in this whole campus. And he went away. Now Shu understood that yes, God has given him this very opportunity for which he was waiting for last 15 years. Shu, in the meantime, collected some pieces of the, wood, some pieces of the sticks in his 2x2 cell. Okay. And the guards was, because soft towards him, they didn't say anything. The moment the guard left, what did Shu? Shu immediately started building up, binding up those, sticks, binding up those wood pieces, and he prepared a ladder. Okay. And that ladder, with the help of that ladder, he went up, up to the end of this 30-feet wall, where the electric current was flowing, used to flow, more than 400 of the watts, because there was no electricity. So he was damn sure that he will absolutely safe. Reaching on the 30th, dead end, top end of the wall, from there he jumped 30 feet down on the roads. In the process, when he landed in the road, he got a lot of injury. Not only in his foot, not only in his leg, but in his back, in his hand, and he was absolutely crying with the pain. But Shu had hardly any time to lose, because he need to immediately fly away from that place. So without caring of his pain, without caring of his wound, Shu started walking. He had not eaten anything also, and he had no money also. He had started eating, he had started walking, because he had to go far, far away from the border of the China if he had to survive. You know, Shu's, as I say, his willpower was absolutely very strong. To that extent that he, went up to the top of the 30th with high wall, crossed that wall and jumped from there. So slowly and slowly he started crawling. He started, moving away from that land camp. And after, not taking any food, throughout the day he used to walk, and in the night somewhere he will take for some time, because he had no money, or he was suffering with the pain, he was suffering with the wound, bleeding was continuously coming out. He didn't care for that, even just taking the water. He was simply surviving on taking the water, and he kept on going. He kept on going. On sixth day of of his walking, he crossed 75 kilometers of walk, and after completing 75 kilometers of the walk, he entered into the border of Burma and got released himself from the terror of the Chinese rule. And after he entered the border of Burma, Shu was absolutely sure that now his life is absolutely safe. And in this way, with this willpower, he saved his life, he saved himself from the terrorism of the Chinese government. So what this, story, teaches us. हमको आपको ये स्टोरी क्या सिखाता है? हमको आपको ये स्टोरी ये सिखाता है कि दुनिया कितना भी वॉल तैयार करे, कितना भी बड़ा सा बड़ा दीवार तैयार करे, लेट द वर्ल्ड, लेट द पीपल, क्रिएट ऑब्स्टिकल्स ऑन योर पाथ, create walls, on your way, but we have to demolish all this wall. हमको इस सारे दीवार को तोड़ देना है, हमको इस सारे दीवार को बांध लेना है, जैसे शू ने बांधा अपने विल पावर से. हमारा विल पावर इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग कर लेना है कि दुनिया की बड़ी से बड़ी, ऊंचे से ऊंची दीवार को, बाधा को हम लांग करके, बाय जंपिंग इट आउट, वी reach to our destination and we reach to our goal. Okay, hope this story will motivate you that how we can face all the obstacles of the life, we can face all the walls of the life, and we can demolish all the wall, we can demolish all the obstacle, and we can be winner, right? So thank you so much for being with me and listening this story. Till then,